A story of love, letters, and growth. Hey, everyone, welcome. I've got a story to share with you today, and I have to admit, it's one that stuck with me for a while. I've been reflecting on it, thinking about all the feelings and lessons that came from it. Now, this isn't just your typical love story. No, it's a whole lot more. So, grab a snack, get comfortable, and let me walk you through my experience. This story is about love, growth, mistakes, and learning to navigate all the ups and downs that come with it. It's about the moments that change you, the things you learn, and the people who end up teaching you more than you ever expected. So, let me start by telling you about me. I'm Lily, a regular high school junior trying to survive the chaos of school, friends, and family. I'm the kind of person who keeps to myself, especially when it comes to my feelings. Instead of telling people how I feel, I tend to keep it all inside. And, I've always had this habit of writing things down, especially my thoughts about the boys I've liked over the years. Yeah, you know where this is going. I wrote love letters. Not just one or two, but a whole stack of them, each one for a different guy I had feelings for. And I never intended to send them. They were just for me, my way of dealing with those feelings. After all, who wants to put themselves out there and risk getting hurt, right? But then one day, I was thrust into the most awkward situation of my life. All those letters? Somehow they all got sent out. Yes, every single one of them. Imagine the shock, the embarrassment, the panic. My heart was in my throat, and all I could think was, what do I do now? Every guy I had written to, guys who had no idea, I even still thought about them, now knew exactly how I felt. And let me tell you, there's nothing like the feeling of your private thoughts being exposed to the world. Now, just when I thought it couldn't get worse, here comes Mason, someone who I'd always seen around but never really talked to. With everything going haywire, I ended up striking a deal with him. I asked him to pretend to be my boyfriend. I know, it sounds crazy, right? But I thought it was the best way to stop things from spiraling even more. I needed to make Zane, my ex, think I had moved on. And for that, I needed a cover. Mason agreed to help, but of course, it wasn't as easy as it sounded. We were total strangers, barely knew each other, and now we were supposed to act like a couple. Honestly, it was uncomfortable at first, super awkward. But somewhere between the forced smiles and pretending, something started to shift. There was this chemistry between us, something I hadn't expected. I could feel it every time we were together. Every glance, every little gesture started to mean something more. It felt so real, but at the same time, I couldn't figure out if it was just part of the act or if it was something deeper. Mason had this way about him. Charming, confident, and so easy to talk to. And it made me think, could this be real? Could we be more than just a fake couple? But of course, things weren't that simple. I had so much going on inside my head. I had been hurt before, and I wasn't sure I was ready to open myself up again. I kept pushing him away, trying to protect myself. I couldn't let myself get too close, not again. But Mason wasn't like the others. He didn't give up on me. And maybe that was the problem. Maybe I wasn't used to someone actually wanting to stick around. I didn't know if I was ready to let down my guard, to let someone see the real me. On top of all this, Zane kept popping up in my life, making things even messier. It was like I was caught in this tug of war between my past and my present. My feelings for Mason were growing, but I didn't know if I was ready to take that step. There was so much fear, so much uncertainty, and all these old feelings kept pulling me back. I wanted to move on, but it was harder than I ever imagined. And then, everything changed. That moment when I realized that all my hesitations, all my fears, were just walls I had built to protect myself. But love doesn't fit behind walls. I couldn't keep hiding from it, from Mason, from myself. And in that moment, I knew I had to decide, was I going to keep playing it safe, holding on to the past? Or would I open myself up to the future, to the possibility of something real? The turning point came in the most unexpected way. There was that moment when everything finally clicked, the chemistry, the feelings, everything. It wasn't just a fake relationship anymore. It was real. I couldn't deny it anymore. The first kiss wasn't just a kiss, it was everything. All those moments leading up to it, the awkwardness, the doubts, the confusion, made that moment so much more powerful. It wasn't just about the kiss, it was about everything we had been through to get there. In the end, I realized something huge. Love isn't about perfection. It's not about finding someone who ticks all the boxes. It's about growth, about letting yourself be vulnerable and learning to trust again. Mason and I weren't perfect, but we were real. And that's all that mattered. So yeah, that's my story. It wasn't always easy, and it definitely wasn't always clear, but it's a story I'll never forget. And I want to know, have you ever been in a situation where you had to let go of the past to move forward? Have you ever had to take a leap of faith in love? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Drop them in the comments below, let's talk. Thanks for listening to my story, and I'll see you next time.